Welcome to week 7, everyone. Well, I've had a chance to catch up on quite a bit of my grading, and the AI use made it pretty difficult to work through. Um, I'm not anti-AI, but what I see of the AI use in this class is a betrayal of what I'm asking students to do. And so let me highlight that. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And this is our syllabus. And I want to go down to our discussion post. So I have added something new for clarification, but I'm going to highlight the original syllabus here. Now, there's a couple things I'm going to highlight. All right. Number one, students are expected to provide an original. Original meaning it's from you, not from AI. Well-written, conceived, and organized response to the week's questions and topics. At least one use of a reference is needed for consideration of any credit. In other words, students will be required to reference their activities discussion post to at least one section of the information provided that week, textbook, PowerPoint, online videos. Original, again, original meaning they're coming from you. Discussion posts must be at least 250 words length, reflect, here's another important thing. Reflect depth in thinking, or if they're original, they're depth in your thinking, not AI's thinking, and integration of information. So integration of information, I've applied it to myself in my own experience. So there's nothing in there for AI. Not one thing says go ahead and use AI for that. Secondly, discussion reactions should be well developed, exhibiting critical thinking. I agree is not an appropriate response. Since we're three well-crafted, courteous, compelling responses. Courteous. It's not courteous. It's not respectful. It's not well-crafted if you have AI do your post for you, period, in the discussion. These responses should be at least 100 words in length. Let me give you some more clarification here. So this is new, and I'll put this under my rubric too, in case there's any confusion. Students using AI for discussion posts are subject to penalties for plagiarism. Listed below. It's below in the syllabus. The use of AI betrays expectation of an original post. Moreover, AI use also betrays the expectation of depth in thinking and integration of information. In order to show the depth of your thinking and application integration of information, this is new. And this comes from y'all's discussion. So I did get a chance to read through. Some of you didn't actually complete the assignment, the discussion post. You guys got into an AI philosophical debate, and that's not what I wanted. Um, I wanted you to note some things, and there some of you did really really well, and I learned from you. Um, Students are required to share. So here's how you this everybody's required to do this in every post moving forward, and this will be my subsequent classes. Actually, so I've learned a lot from your class, so I'm going to require this for my other online classes and this class moving forward. In order to show the depth of your thinking and application integration of information, students are required to share something from their own lives, meaning AI can't make it up. I mean, I guess you could try to download all your thoughts into AI, make up something for me. Wow, it's really something if you do that. And I'm don't take my attitude the wrong way. There's a place for AI, and you can tell that that I put a lot into this class. And if you're putting less into it than I have, or collectively, if you're putting 5 minutes into something that I spent 30 minutes to do, it's not even worth taking the class. Um, in order to show the depth of your thinking and application of information, students are required to share something from their own lives. that helps them make sense of or relate to course or peer-produced material in each post, meaning your original post and every response to peers. That will be counted for course credit. Now you can throw out other ideas. You can always respond more than you have to, more than you're required to. But for the post to count, failure to do this in each post will result in that post not counting toward weekly expectations. This requirement applies to all original posts and responses to peers. So that clears it up. So that's, you're like, well, this is ridiculous. This is no, not really. By you doing that, it's showing that you're integrating information. Moreover, I'm going to continue that. When you take somebody's post and you upload that to AI, where does it go? Where does that information go? Because it doesn't just disappear. It doesn't just boom. What does AI do with that information? What is that engine? Because it learns from us. It remembers what we put in there. So you're not so if you're counseling, that would be a breach of confidentiality. If you're like HIPAA, that's like a $250,000 fine. If you're using it that way, it's not privacy protected. So it's very disrespectful to your peers and your classmates. And I'd say it's disrespecting yourself too. I'm gonna have some material out there where it will show you the proper way to cite AI. So, if and that's in my syllabus too, is if you cite AI, sure, I'm fine with it. But those of you that are using it aren't citing it. And so that's plagiarism. So as far as points moving forward, if I suspect any AI use, you're just not getting credit for it. If it's blatant, um, I'm gonna probably request that you come in and just handwrite something for me so I can see your writing style and compare it. And we can just go, to like, the strict plagiarism policy, which is, F for the class, reporting, to academics for producing work that's not your own. If you've gone through I'm chair of the department, so if you've gone through your programs doing this, it is up to every professor, but the professors in the psych department should be having you cite and should be having you identify when you use it, because that, especially for like a paper. So I'm requiring if you use it, it's like for everything that you do in this class, you need to cite it and you need to say it. And that'll be going forward in my classes, at least my online ones. So I've learned from y'all. I appreciate you share. So some of the things that people shared is like, the AI doesn't have heart. I agree with that. It's very bland. And a lot of people said it's kind of boring to read. Yeah, I don't want to read through boring posts either. Um, somebody said it's very broad and generic terms that could work for anybody. Yeah, it's like a fortune teller. I mean, there should be a Miss Cleo on TV that let me tell your fortune. And what you do is you give a really broad, like, you're going to come into some money this year, or you're going to make a new relationship. And so you leave it in these really broad terms, and so it's like it applies to everybody. Um, so, an anecdote, somebody said that the people that were real in those posts that you compared. And again, if you didn't compare them, that was the assignment, is to compare them. So some of you didn't do that. I did leave you feedback. I'll grade your new stuff, but I do expect everybody to go back and respond to me. I think I'm afraid one person used AI on the on the reply, which is not good. Um, but you should use an anecdote from your life, something from your own experience. If so, again, when you read through the discussions, the stuff on, in the class, it should resonate with you. Something should come up and you say, "Oh, that reminds me of this," or "That reminds me of that." I don't, I, people talked about, well, it helps me like do my grammar and things, and it helps me summarize. Well, I'll take this reverse order. So, like, to summarize something, how are you able to like summarize something? You know it, right? If you summarize something, you have to know it first before you yourself can summarize it. So by asking like, AI to summarize it, you're short-circuiting your own neural networks. You're not doing yourself any favors with your ability to learn. Um, and as far as like, I think some people have, talked about like, and I did get this a few times, like, well, here's like the response, but then I added like a sentence that's my own. Don't do that. It's still you're sacrificing somebody's private information by putting it up into the AI cloud, and you're not helping yourself. You're not helping yourself like process that or being better at writing or being better at thinking. That's what this is. If you're going to be in psychology, um, if we're going to help other people, and this kind of goes into like the content of the course, you have to be good yourself. Like this isn't like you have to be pretty cognitively complex, like be able to hold all this information and multiple perspectives in your own brain to be able to help other people, to be able to so you can have your own thoughts because, well, it's just a pain in the butt. Well, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be free to learn some things. So, if you don't want to learn, I guess that's your prerogative. But we do have some different parameters moving forward. Well, I don't know that they're different. They're clarified parameters going forward. So, if you have questions, please reach out to me. And I look forward to seeing the stuff that you produce here on out.